Welcome back to the Dank Swamp Rebellion. Today we have the Cajun Craftastrophe himself, T. New. This is part 1. Happiness is a skill. It's time to give it hell on Saturday, July 31st. Join Gnarly Barley and Dan Mary for the release party of Give It Hellas Lager. Live music by Pale Shelter, Eat the Witch, and Sunrise Sunset. Beer flows at noon and music starts at 3 p.m. Food by Fat Jose. So join Gnarly Barley, Daniel Mary, and the Dank Swamp Rebellion at Gnarly Brewing Company, 1709 Corbin Road, Hammond, Louisiana. So let's give it hell.
I've been called Taylor for my entire life, which is kind of crazy because there's a few letters that are different. And it sounds...
At least since the 1990s, probably.
Yeah. Well, my name's on a sewer somewhere next to my mom's bank, and that's where she got the name from. So that feels good. I'm like a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, it's good that you have a nice story to go along with your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sometimes he tells stories, but they're not as good as yours, Tinu.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, your stories are a lot more expressive and vivid than the ones that Tyler or Taylor here tells.
I try, but pale in comparison. It's okay, though.
I don't know about that. Okay. Next question.
For those of y'all that don't know, we have the Cajun Craftastrophe in the Dank Swamp Rebellion studio today. Mr. T. New is with us. YouTube sensation. Just doing your thing on YouTube, having a good time, crafting away. I love the way that you've taken your videos and also turned them into a learning process. I've learned a lot from you, especially how not to burn myself with a light bulb, because I have issues with that. So,
Well, that's good. I do not remember that episode, but overall, I should just probably give people a general safety warning saying, like, don't touch hot things.
That's right. And if you need to go watch the video, it's called Evil Bake Oven. And
okay, now
very good. It's coming back.
It's all coming back.
You know what I learned is the keying out certain colors in the newest recent one where you're compositing, and
yes.
That's a nice little tip.
Man, that's a magic trick.
It is.
It is.
It's very
I was astonished at how good that works.
all except for the part with my daddy's face. Anyway, compositing, to people who don't know, it's when you're working in kind of visual effects, or you're mixing things up, or putting a photo together, putting your grandmother next to the Grand Canyon to pretend like you were actually a good father. What you want to do is try to make those two pictures look like they're in the same place. And anyway, it's just a little color trick to kind of get everything in the right space real quick.
But obviously you're a young cat, so how'd you learn how to do all this in such a short period of time of your life? Because I feel like you have some natural ability, but then I go back and watch what you're doing, and I feel like it's more technical than what it shows to be.
I think I've been just kind of curious all my life, and a bit of a... Y'all know what a latchkey kid is?
Oh, yeah. We were both latchkey kids, too.
There you go. So I had to entertain myself a lot. I get home from school, and, I have other siblings that we don't talk about. But anyway, I have other siblings, but they didn't want to have anything to do with me because I was the youngest. So I would just entertain myself. So I would love to do things like build things, and then my Uncle Richard lived with us at the time, and my Uncle Richard, what he would do, he flew these RC planes.
Oh, those are cool. Man, I forgot about those.
Man, but this guy, talk about flying.
He put some money into that?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I've seen cats that do that put thousands of dollars into their plane.
That's a huge hobby.
Same thing with the RC boats back in the Gap. People would put
That's what I remember the most.
$1,000 RC boat on the bayou. So you just wrecked it into a log that had a turtle on it.
Sure, bet.
That's called a kamikaze mission. And I bet the turtle won anyway. So, what are you guys rebelling against?
We are rebelling. No, we never rebel against the Dank. We represent the Dank.
Oh,
we're rebelling against the obscure idea that the media has put in the public's heads about people from the Bayou and about from South Louisiana, and how we're that we have the stigma of ignorance and illiteracy, and that we only know a certain type of way, and it's what they've portrayed, and they've done those things through like the Water Boy per se and things of that nature. And so we're just looking to shine a different light on the Cajun and the Creole people of South Louisiana to show that we are doing a lot more, and for instance what you're doing, that's a huge step in the right direction to show people that not just what you're doing, but the art that your wife is doing also, and then the community that you've built around that, right? And that's all we're trying to do, is build a bigger community of creatives showing what we can actually do, showcase the value.
And there's a time and place for your water boy style of humor.
Yep, I love it. Love Adamson.
Snake ain't got no parts. That's his knee.
But when you look at it and that's the only thing you know about South Louisiana, that's a problem. And that's what we're rebelling. So the Dank Swamp is just the setting, and the rebellion's what lives on.
Man, you guys get an A++ for that answer.
Tell
That
ya.
was a good answer.
But let me tell you something, Bab. This is old Grovon in my ear. Y'all know who I am. Y'all hear me on all the commercials I make for the DSR talks, because, they make me do that, and they don't pay me nothing. Don't even give me no kind of food or nothing. But let me tell you something. I got a little bone to pick with you, Tinu. I don't like how sassy you are with your daddy, bruh. I don't like that. Okay?
My dad, he's a handful.
He's very smart. Okay, I relate to that man's. Okay,
He's got a bag wrapped in it's brown bagged, and he's drinking something.
don't worry about that, Bev. I made that myself. I made that in the shed.
Okay.
But your daddy knows things, bro. When he's getting the RV for some oyster po' boy from the Cajun Twist and Galley, and a shout out to Anthony and all them, bro. That's because he needs that in his life. And you sitting there playing with your little Star Trek and all that other stuff you doing. And like you said, bro, to me, Grovon is boring, bro. Like, I like to hear him make a daddy show, and I'll just watch that. I'll just watch that all day. I'll eat some Danish fried chicken, too, and watch that while I'm eating that.
That's a new ASMR.
Yeah.
Daddy eating fried chicken.
Oh boy, you know what? Now, thank you, Mr. Sir, whatever your name is. I don't know where this guy came from, but now I'm gonna have to hide this podcast from my daddy, or I'm gonna have to grease the edges of the door because his head's gonna be so big that he won't be able to pass.
Well, that's what you need to do. You need to be less sassy. And listen more. The older generation of the body, they know some things too. I was watching him. He was talking about old Tom Hanks and Spalding. And you just kind of discredited him like he didn't know what was up. He seen that at the Southland Cinema back in 1997 or whatever it was. We was both there. We had bought a popcorn, and you treating him like that. I don't like it.
Yes.
I want you to stop.
I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna take your advice because
Yeah.
you seem like a reasonable adult that people should take advice from. So I'm gonna do that. The Southland Mall. Watching movies at the Southland Mall. I might have done that before.
You remember when they had the Dollar Theater there at the Southland Mall?
No.
Oh yeah, we had that in our day. Me and Tyler both remember that.
That was the teenage times, yeah.
Southland Theater changed to some weird name, Dollar Theater. So you could literally go see a movie at any time for $1. And then they had matinee prices before 4, which was 50 cents.
Oh, nice.
So you could go and see like old Rambo movies or...
That's what they showed. They showed
Yeah.
some like classics and just kind of like B movies, and they charged just $1 to
They'd
see
be
it.
like, we're showing Toy Story 10 years later for $1. And it was cool.
It was cool.
I know it's a trip, like, because way back in the day, you couldn't just, they would release a movie, and then you couldn't just go see it. People told me it was like, you might have to wait 5 or 6 years before you'd see that movie again. Something like Star Wars wouldn't come out on DVD, or I guess they didn't have that back then.
VHS at that time.
That's correct. And you'd have to wait a long, long time, or sometimes you might be able to go see it at the drive-in or something if they released it, but...
The Jet. Drive.
Jet Cinema, Paul.
Jet Cinema, I remember, and Mr. Matern. I don't know if y'all know who Mr. Matern is.
Oh, T-New, you just triggered me back to another time and place back in the Gap.
Mr. Matern did not want any babies conceived in that Jet Cinema.
At all.
He would flash the light on you. I'm not saying, I just heard stories.
That's right.
But he'd flash the light on you.
Even if it was just like, if he even thought you were doing something, you know, you didn't have to be doing nothing. I've been caught a lot because apparently I just look suspicious when I'm around.
You look pretty guilty, my friend.
Yeah, I am. But that's okay. But I feel like the things that I'm guilty of is not what I'm being accused of. So I think I'm on a good place.
That's a nice difference.
I believe that's called the Cassandra effect. if you know your Greek history.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Mr. Matern, but what were we talking about? Oh, my daddy my daddy watches like 25 or 30 movies a week. So yeah,
He watches new movies or old movies?
man, it's a combo. And then
He's down with all the Marvel flicks and all that good stuff, like Endgame and all
he'll
that.
watch anything that moves. I think if you sat him in front of a window and there was something, the grass is blowing, he might think it was like in 5D or something.
Throw in
Or
some
5
letter bars and you'll
Maybe
get 'em.
5K is the word I was looking for.
So before we started the show, we were actually talking before, and we brought up Danish fried chicken, and Tinu schooled me on where the chicken car is, man.
Yep.
The chicken car is still alive.
It hatched a new
It's
leaf.
different now, though. It's not the old beater that it was. Now it's like the chicken pieces.
It goes at twice the speed of chicken.
Twice the speed of chicken?
Sure,
That don't take
bro.
much.
Well, they still got some upgrades.
You can run that from one side of the body to the other over the bridge.
The chicken chargy.
It's the chicken charger. That's correct. I like it.
That's amazing.
That's-
I
it's a
would
smooth
drive
ride, too.
that. I would definitely.
Or when you switch gears, it goes.
That would be awesome.
Or if they change the horn at least.
You press the horn and it's the Danny's Fried Chicken theme song. I don't think they had one, but
We'll hook them up.
Did y'all write it, Danny's
We
fried
can,
chicken?
we
I
will.
think y'all should.
We got it in the bank.
is there any Danish Fried Chickens open anywhere?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Homa, I believe.
There's one
On the east
On
side?
the east side,
Oh.
still. Yeah. And it was the one on the way here still open. They used to have one. On right before you get into Lafayette. I can't remember where it is.
I'll tell you what, though. For Danny's Fried Chicken on the east side, I'm going to write them a jingle, bro. For old time's sake, I'm going to do that.
Bring it in a little paper bag for them.
Yeah, with a little USB drive inside and hand it to them. Here you go.
Nice. I bet if you got that nice gentleman who stumbled out the door a few minutes ago, I bet if you got him to ask my daddy to sing a verse or to even appear maybe in the little commercial,
Absolutely.
he might do it. I don't know. He's
Well, Grovant's my uncle.
okay.
Unfortunately, we are related, and he does just bust in at times. But he'll do anything for a 3-pack.
Man,
Yeah.
my dad starts at an 8-pack.
Well,
He's moved up.
yeah,
He's moved
Grovant's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think with his name that he would buff that up a little
Yeah.
bit, but
Well, it's because he has a theory that he says 4 on the floor and a 5th under the seat, so he's always prepared.
so he's got his 3, 4, and 5 covered.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
gonna-
I guess that makes sense.
And
in
you go
some-
right back to step 2.
That's right. Some weird roundabout way. It's making sense.
We're gonna send Claude a little piece of paper that asking, "Hey, would you come
Yeah.
do that?"
If you put some flowers or perhaps like a sticker with glitter on it, that always is a selling point.
Really catch the eye.
Yeah. You know, he's not super big into unicorns, but if it's got like a glitter to it, hey, he's down.
But if it just so happens to have a unicorn that looks like a Danny's Fried Chicken logo,
Even better.
he's okay with that.
Oh, if it had a chicken on it, dude, you in like
Man,
that.
we should make a scratch and sniff Danny's Fried Chicken smelled flavored
Stickers?
sticker.
The good thing is all you would have to do is bring the papers into the restaurant and let it sit there for a day. And then it's scratch and sniff. Actually, you don't even have to scratch it.
No, you just sniff it.
You just,
you just smell
can't not sniff it. It's always
Can you imagine how many people have that on their refrigerator and just smells like Danny's Fried Chicken in the kitchen?
It'll hold that potency for a minute.
The kids are sitting there trying to lick it. Don't do that, kids.
What you cooking, Mom?
No safety warning on that one needed. Hopefully. But Tinu, what's next for you, man? I mean, you've been doing the video things. Space Rabbit was awesome. Loved Space Rabbit. I like the way you do break it down how you do it and then show the end result. I like more the do it than the end result, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of in the same way. That like now my I guess intake of media is becoming different in that watching the end result of something is one thing, but I'm fascinated by watching people put things together because it's just what I'm into, and I've always been into those behind the scenes DVD stuff. I love that. But yeah, and just so people know, like Space Rabbit is basically what it is it's just a little. I decided to do. I don't really like calling these things tutorials, even though kind of technically they are. I just think of them as videos. And so with Space Rabbit, what he is he's just a character, and I made up a little scene. And I wanted to show people like, hey, if you got a couple of things laying around and you don't have any actors, but you want to learn how to make films, then you can make something with just some toys you got laying around or whatever. You can make a little movie scene. And so I made this whole video about let's do this. And I'll be frankly honest, when I started that, I was just like, I'm doing this. I have no idea where this is going. I'm gonna trust myself and just so when I started that and told everybody you go out and try not to make a fool of yourself in front of the world, and I can't say I'm 100% successful with that, but I'm trying. But you just put this out there, and then suddenly well, you have to do it. You know, you told everyone you're gonna do it, and you gotta do it. So anyway, that was a fun experiment. So what I did was I made all these steps, making this little movie, and then I released the little movie, and thank goodness it actually turned out into something semi-watchable.
It turned out really cool, and I love the way that you use household items, and you have to have such a degree of imagination to be able to do these things, because to think that you could take some cardboard and some tape and some foil and some epoxy putty stuff that you use and make your little figures and all that's crazy, and to actually put everything behind it. I know for us that since we do this and audio production and some video production and things of that nature, that when we're watching movies or we're watching a series or a documentary or anything, because of what we do now, we look at it differently. You know, we break down a lot of things in that production, and we try and figure out how they're doing these things, especially the cooler sides of it. And I give you kudos, man, because the smoothness of your videos is
phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
It's freaking awesome. Love it, because it's something that we aspire when we see people that are talented like you. It pushes us to be better. It makes our grind even harder every day to be better at what we do. And I appreciate you for it, man, because it's awesome.
Well, let me tell you something, Colby, and you too, Mike. It's you guys got it going on here. Like overall, like I feel like of course when Andy asked me to come on the podcast, he said that the first thing I did was look it up, and it was like, okay, this is professional. You know, it sounds good. So if you guys had the 2 Radio Shack lavalier mics with an air conditioner running in the background, I would have been a little more hesitant.
That's actually how we started. That was our first show.
I gotta tell people right now, I don't know what it sounds like to you guys, but Tyler here, who I keep messing with.
Oh, there we go.
It eventually will come around. I got a list of them, my friend. But he's got an air conditioner blasting, and I gotta tell my friend CrafsMan, I gotta have him. We gotta talk about this specific thing. Let me stay on point here. Tino, stay on point. I could hear my daddy's voice in the background. I imitate him. He would say, Tino, stay on point. Yeah, what is wrong with you? Anyway, I don't know if you'll know me.
Speaking of the real quick of the AC, believe it or not, we very carefully built that sound booth right there and put that AC in that very particular spot with a lot of measurement, and there's a lot of supports that go onto that AC unit so it doesn't hum and vibrate. So also really good mics don't hurt, and being engineers,
We got it.
Well, that's the thing. That's my whole point. I'm like, I have an audio background, and I'm blown away, my friends, that you guys are running. They are running an air conditioner. I can hear it with my ears loud as can be, and I can't really believe that y'all were able to knock this out. And this is the exact problem my friend CrafsMan is having with his thing. And I even talked to him about it. I was like, well, if you don't have a central unit, he's got a little building, that he does his thing in. I was like, well, just build it, 5 feet away from the place, put yourself a little slab, just make a little box, put yourself a duct. I don't know, but man, you got something way cooler going on here. Maybe explain that to the audience, because I don't think I'm doing a good job.
Sure. So the booth itself, which is what we set up to do narration and acoustic performances, recorded that stuff. It's set up to where it's actually capturing the audio from the AC unit, where it's boxed in this corner. And the walls themselves are also compressed with the inside of the bus. Now, the seats of the bus are inside of the walls of the studio. So we repurposed all that to
Are
be
you
in
talking about an actual school bus?
here. The one outside.
the one outside. We're moving into that school bus.
Y'all gonna? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna live in it.
That's y'all going back in time.
It worked out because when we just bought the bus to line the studio with, but then we figured out a purpose for the bus. It was fine. So, yeah, the way that's set up, it's naturally compressing the sound in that corridor, and being that these are set to directional mics, it's not picking up anything here or there or there.
And the little bit of, say, air that would be at the bottom of the wave, Tyler is just being modest as he always is. But early on, you can hear a dynamic change in the audio quality of our show back in our first episode, probably around our 30th. And that's because Tyler sat there for about 50 hours in a week and put together a Vox patch that takes our waves when we drop them in there and takes all the noise out, and then amplifies it and makes it all nice and sweet and beautiful. So
and what specifically are you using, Jim?
he actually built it in Logic Pro. So it has quite a few buses in there and quite a few effects.
Some notch filters.
A lot of noise gates going on.
I want to
Things of
say
that
it's 11 different patches in for that singular patch.
and that are bust down in there. So
My friend, have you thought about doing a little digital download or some kind of like thing where people can like access this information?
we have thought about that. We also thought about selling it to Apple, but then we're like, nah, let's not do that.
I'd rather be able to connect with creatives personally than sell a patch and them come through DSR Productions for me to help them personally, instead of just having it available for like $30 somewhere online.
Yeah, so tell your man CrafsMan, hit us up and we'll let him know.
Oh, absolutely, because
It gets hot in Louisiana.
man, and yeah, I'm not sure where he's at, but he's close.
We do a lot of
So that's where we got there.
we have a lot of artists that come through here, and we can't really pick the time of day, right? So we say we have a day, we may book 3 artists to come record vocals in our booth on any given day. So that may start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and go throughout the day, have multiple artists in here. So when that happens, you can't help the heat. So we had to figure out a way to make this happen. Now inside that booth, and I know because I've done vocals and acoustics in
Literally
there.
like an hour ago.
It was it's about 80 degrees in that booth,
Yeah,
but
it's
the
kinda
booth is
toasty.
clean. But yeah, that it helps a lot to have people ask us a lot. They listen to our show and they laugh. We try and keep it funny, but and we talk about real things too, but they ask us where's our comedic background from, and there's not. We're musicians. So as we've been doing this, that's our biggest thing, is perfecting our sound and also trying to help others do the same. We want people to have video content to where their audio sounds just as good as their video looks.
Every time.
Yeah.
We're not selfish with what we do. We just want everybody to do it with us.
That's very cool, and you guys and y'all have to really excuse my ignorance, but y'all have been doing it
Year and a half now.
year and a half.
We're about to hit our 100th episode.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah, we ramped up.
And this is a part that you can edit out or not, but you guys make a living doing this.
It's part of it. That's why we started the production side, which is our LLC. And that's where we get our clients come in doing the booth time or through graphic design, things like that. But the show itself, the podcast, we say this all the time, that the podcast itself is an outlet for me and Cody, for us to, one, network, two, show off what we can do, and three, really meet meaningful creatives that we feel like we would love to have in session. That's why you're here, Tinu.
Watch, check this out. This is called full circle, but it's not a full circle because we're not at the end of things, so it's like a quarter circle. So that's Matt.
It's a crescent moon.
There you go. But yeah, like it brings it back to like what we were talking about earlier, like the way that you portray in the bayou or the way you portray in southern Louisiana, and I have made an effort to do the same, because I don't want to be stereotypical. I mean, this is the way that I saw things when I grew up, but there's like I'll be honest, like I don't, and hopefully I'm not offending anyone out there, but I don't jam out to Cajun music.
Neither do we.
So, and there's nothing wrong with Larry Brassel, and you can crank that up and turn the bass on. You're probably gonna be sorry, but you can do that. But it's just not my jam. I just grew up in a different era. But so I wouldn't do my show and have it like, hey, here's a Cajun show and here's a bunch of Cajun music, because that's not what I'm about. So I want to try to like also expand on that and let people see that there's a whole different side.
There's more.
And you've done it. You've melded that together to where it fits so perfectly that actually, if you wouldn't have said that, I would have never have thought about that.
No,
I would have never thought
it's
that your
seamless.
background. Yeah, it's seamless. So you've integrated that well. So kudos to you that you've done it. So you've actually been successful in that.
Thank you. I love music, and I love all styles of music, and I even love Cajun music. Like but it's very specific songs. You know what I mean? Like there's some good ones. I mean, Jolie Blanc, that's a good song.
But you haven't heard anything new Cajun music, because like the younger cats, what they're doing now then.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you have to listen to Nonk New and the Wild Matus, my friend.
There you go.
They're awesome. They're like they're on the same page. So they
like his name. That's a good name.
Yeah, Nonk New. Yeah, that's very good. They're from around the South Terrebonne, South Lafourche region.
Yeah.
And they trying to do the same thing, have a revival, because when we grew up listening to Tina Na and things of that nature, it just got old because it was the same old thing, and the Cajun radio stations around, they would play that out, and then of course my mama and papa, and they would play that out. We get tired of it. So, and they felt the same way. So they actually wrote, new style music that's family friendly, and that's what I love about it. Is they came on our show and then asked us to go and play music with them in Patterson, and I went and play washboard with them, and we had a great time
for the whole gig.
But yeah, I did.
It's supposed to be a song.
I got massacred.
Yeah, did it tear your hands up?
Oh, I wore some gloves, but my whole body hurt the next day for 3 days. I went ham on the washboard.
Your grandma felt like did that every day of her life because she was doing your daddy's laundry.
That's right. But it was cool because the kids were out there, and I took my washboard off and I put it on the little boy, and he started playing it, and it gets the kids involved, so that way they know there's something else out there, you know.
Absolutely.
Oh, and really quickly, I don't know if people have seen the show I'm doing, but I just want y'all to know out there that it's a kid-friendly show that I'm doing, so you can be rest assured that if you watched any Cajun Craftastrophe with your kid, it's gonna. I'm not gonna say anything crazy. My daddy will say something crazy, but it won't be bad. You know, he's always saying something crazy. But that's the best thing. Ever since I got a little bit of an audience, and I gotta say, guys, it's not a big audience. I'm very, very thankful for what I got, but it's not huge. It'll get bigger, but people send me pictures of them and their kids, and they have done some of the crafts that I'm doing
That's
together.
awesome. That's got to be an amazing feeling.
It's the best feeling. I tell you, man, I love it. And so, as far as the show goes, I keep trying to figure out, well, what's the format that I'm trying to do? Because this whole YouTube thing, it's a new thing, right? And no one really knows what it is. It can be really anything. So I keep trying to figure out with the format of like how much I want to actually teach, or how much I'm actually just having fun and letting people, because sometimes people want to see something and say like, how do you do this thing on your phone? I don't know how to turn my phone off at night, and it's waking me up at 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna watch a YouTube video and this dude tells me in like, less than a minute. But that's one thing. And then there's this other thing called infotainment, where you giving information and educating people, but you really want them to have a good time. And that's where my interest lies. So I'm still very much letting this thing evolve and seeing where it goes.
Hey, what's up? How are ya? It's your best friend Daniel Mary. You normally know me from Alt 92.3, but you know what got me started in radio? I started a local music-based company called Give It Hell Promotions, and one of my dreams was to, create a beer with a local brewery. It actually happened. Gnarly Barley in Hammond, Louisiana. They're releasing the Give It Hellas lager. I'm very excited. It's pretty much my tears of joy mixed in with the beer. So July 31st at the Gnarly Barley Brewery in Hammond, we got some live music starting at 3. Pale Shelter, Eat the Witch, Sunrise, Sunset. There's gonna be Fat Jose's taco truck there, and oh yeah, the Give It Hellas lager. I'm very excited, and look, if you go, be sure to let the Dank Swamp Rebellion guys know, and they'll relay it to me, and we'll hang out, man. High five and handshake, whatever you want to do, and maybe you can talk the Dank Swamp Rebellion guys into coming as well. Leave the bayou for a little bit and go to a different bayou, the Hammond Bayou. Gnarly Barley Brewing, July 31st. Come drink some beer, listen to some music, and just hang out, man.
So let's give it hell. Thanks for listening to the Dank Swamp Rebellion. Make sure you come back Saturday for part 2 with T-New, and hop into the Craftyverse on YouTube. Cajun Craftastrophe.